Good morning and welcome once again to Daybreak Africa from our studio in Odo State, which is the sunshine state of the nation. It's a beautiful morning. My name is Ikhonede Joshua Odeji.
And I am Hadizatu Ibrahim. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
and
morning.
We are back again to how the week is going about and everything. Everybody's just preparing for the Christmas celebration and the New Year celebrations in the actual sense. And I'm seeing already people flowing in from the country. I don't know if you've seen any of your friends who say just come from the abroad and say, hey, I'm around. I came from dirty December. Wow. I thought it was insecurities. Why you guys
still flooding? Because there's no place like home. You always enjoy this. There's this vibe in Nigerian December, seriously. To me, I feel it's the best place to be.
Yeah, it's always the best place to be in the actual sense. I don't think there's any, for someone like me that I even plan, maybe I should just take a break, enter Lagos, just play small. I know that
enjoy the fun.
I don't want to miss the dirty December. Because some friends that came actually recently, they are those friends that I knew. I must not miss. I don't know when I'm going to see you again. Maybe it's till next year again. So definitely, let's rule this period.
Use this opportunity to see them.
But my own problem there is just, aside from the opportunity to see them and go, the prices of things. I'm seeing statistics that are saying that inflation has come down. But I'm going to the market, I'm seeing a difference in entirely. Like, I don't understand. Why is it that there is this disparity between what the statistics are showing and what
the reality, right?
The reality is reflecting towards us?
I always wonder where they get their statistics from myself, because I was at the market, I think on Saturday, over the weekend, and someone was buying children clothes. And I was surprised the amount they were calling. I was like, wait, just for one clothes. You're calling this amount, and what happens to the Christmas rice, the meat and everything? I know that by this weekend, things will be worse.
Well, everyone knows that things will be worse by this weekend because it's one of the things that is annoying me for some of us that, because I don't know, if you go to for Christmas holidays or maybe the Salah breaks and all that across other countries, the period of the festive season is very much accustomed with discounts. Yeah. You go there, you buy things on a discount price. You can buy what you're buying for $10,000, $8,000 before. You can buy it for $500. You can buy it for $700. But when you come here,
everything is different.
If it was 10,000 before,
you turn to like 15 or 20,000.
Transport to maybe you are going from here to there.
Yes.
Look at people talking about aviation prices now. You want to fly from just, how would I be paying for flights over 500,000, 400,000
within the country,
within Nigeria,
yes,
so
it's not right.
If you want to go out of the country, how much will it cost you? There are some countries that you'll be traveling from Europe to another country in Europe abroad, and you get there for a reduced price, and that same price you cannot use it to even get bus transportation here in Nigeria. So I think we need to just review things, because it's not even the government in anymore. I think we ourselves,
we the citizens, I think we're at fault. We don't consider each other. We just use that opportunity to, once there's any festive period, we just use that opportunity to extort people, to just inflate prices, and you'll be surprised. And it cuts across all sectors, not just the food, even transportation, just as you said, aside from the air, even the road transport, even ordinary Okada. You'll be surprised that where they're taking for 300, they'll start telling you 500 naira. Why? All because of the season.
Well, this one, we will survive it. We will survive it for years. We will still survive this one. But I think next year we will do a campaign against it. I'm talking about doing a campaign against it. Next year is going to be a political season. And yes, we know that a lot of things are going to be happening. But then the opposition seems to be in deep trouble at this particular time. And we are seeing some of the crises with the People's Democratic Party, especially, and the defections we've been experiencing. We'll be looking at this holistically today, and our guest is in the studio with us. Before you get to meet our guest, let's take a break. After the break, we'll come back on Daybreak Africa, and we delve straight into our discussion. So please stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. Just joining us, is still Daybreak Africa, and yes, you're welcome once again. Now it's time to go into our discussion, and yes, we'll be looking at the People's Democratic Party as well as the political space in Nigeria. As we're seeing lots of defections still occurring at this particular time. We know we are getting into 2026 gradually, which is the political season, the political year of the country, some year that we know that we're having new aspirants across political parties trying to compete for the seat of presidency, as well as multiple seats in the Senate, in the House of Rep within the country. And we know that in this political season, lots of things like defections will happen. But then, specifically the People's Democratic Party, we are seeing a bit of crisis, talking about the factions, now recent defections of political bigwigs within the party. We've seen Adeleke leave the party recently, where he went to the Accord party. Adeleke happens to be one of the PDP leaders in the southwest, and now Osun State belongs to Accord party, whereas many people actually knows that the governor in Osun State panders a bit closer to the presidency, which is the APC. And also we are seeing, even from Taraba State and some other states within Nigeria, we are seeing speculations of defections here, there, to other parties. And many begin to ask questions, what's up with the opposition in Nigeria? What's up with the most viable opposition in Nigeria, which is the People's Democratic Party, which happens to be one of the most powerful parties in the history of Africa? And yes, we are seeing it having a bit of crisis, two factions still warring over the party's leadership within Nigeria. And now we are saying that due to these multiple issues, lots of defections are happening at a time when they're supposed to be closed together, to be united, to fight against the current ruling party. At this time, we are seeing such issues of defections and the likes at this particular time, as well as a searchlight on other opposition parties within Nigeria. Well, to discuss with us today, we have honorably in the House, an ex-legislator, is vast in political analysis, and yes, he's a passionate patriot of Nigeria, in the person of Honorable Olusiji Akindiose. Welcome to the show.
God bless you.
Nice to have you on the show.
God bless KAFTAN.
Yeah, God bless you, sir, as well. And Merry Christmas in advance.
Merry Christmas to everyone.
Yeah. So, sir, I remember the last time we discussed about the issues at Wadata Plaza as at the past time. And now, just 2 weeks down the line, we have begun to experience a bit of defections here, there, and some speculations of defections here, there. And we know we are getting to 2026, where the political season officially starts. It kickstarts. Now, PDP is your beloved party. It's a party you love so much. You've achieved a whole lot with the party as well. What's your take on this issues of defections that is still raising its ugly heads at this particular time within the party?
Well, I love Nigeria more than I do PDP. That is patriotism, and it's not negotiable. I mean, patriotism is not negotiable. So whatever I say, I can move from the angle of PDP, but everything, let me give a symbolism, like a calm lake. That is Nigeria and our democracy. And people now come in there to drop heavy rock. The ripples will begin from that point, and we go to the bank and back and forth. So what we are experiencing in Nigeria today is a kind of conspiracy against the people. When you look at it from the angle of people moving from one party to the other, then I continue to question the rationale. Why are you moving? Why can't you stay in your party, resolve the crisis, and then move ahead? But there is the fundamental issue there. Somebody is dropping the rock into the calm lake. So in every party, that is the fish or fishes
within
in the pond or lake, they are troubled. All the fishes are troubled. Nigeria is troubled by this kind of democracy. Let us go back when we had two parties in Nigeria, some years in the Babangida era, where he put NRC and SDP. We had two clear divisions. And down the lane, we had the party represented all over the nation. Just as we had NRC in the southwest and east, and so we had SDP all over. But the people were the center of the action, and the people were allowed to decide. Now it is not the same thing. Even I had the one of the spokespersons of APC, the ruling party, speaking about legitimizing They spoken of crisis in other parties, saying that you shouldn't allow your enemies to be at rest. And I continue to wonder that if a man who is almost above 60 could still be talking about letting the enemies be in crisis, then he has no panoramic vision of what peace Nigeria needs to develop. Because in a democracy without opposition, there is no democracy, there can't be development. The opposition has to sit down and profile alternatives to the policies by the ruling party. The conscience of the ruling party will see the positive aspect of that opposition, and they will quietly inform the authorities, ruling authorities, that let us go this way in our educational policy. This kind of students loan, we have not been able to create atmosphere for jobs, job opportunities. So when the students are out and we have laws that say if you don't pay back, you go to jail. Is that socially acceptable? The opposition will say no, give them grants, give them grants. No, equip the universities, put books in the libraries, put computers where they should be, put laboratory equipment where they fund researches and all those things. That is the work of the opposition. But right now, the most astonishing thing is that politicians want to survive. That is why people are jumping from PDP to APC. It is governors that should insist on stabilizing their parties will now move because they are being quietly threatened. There's a quiet storm against them, and none of them will be able to survive it because the preponderance of the instrument of state coercion is there with the ruling party to use against the opposition, instead of us sitting down to look at the problems of Nigeria as a whole. Because when the tree is troubled, the bird cannot perch safely. So it is not really a big problem for PDP, as people used to say, but a deeper reflection will see it as a general destabilization of the progress of Nigeria when you don't allow oppositions to grow. So that is just an aspect of my initial contribution.
Okay, so we saw the last election in 2023, which just happened some recent years ago, and some people have the opinion that that is why some members were not favored. Some PDP members were not favored during that time, and some of them don't even have a say. That is why they are running over, they are decamping to APC. How true is that?
No, it is not. You see, we have politicians and we have politicians. You see, like some of us who are still growing in politics, because we are not yet there, we are still growing, but we have a basis for growth. For example, we have our role models. Most of the politicians from the Southwest who read about Obafemi Awolowo and the prospects then for every citizen will want to move along the Awo something, looking at what you provide for the people, making life more abundant for the people, creating jobs for the people, free education for the people. But on the other hand, you just find out that most of the star players now, they are not doing similar things. So in the 2023 elections, whether the primaries, you are trying to refer to the primaries within PDP. Yes, somebody said he wanted, it was normal for the South to have produced the president. But on the other hand, the party put in place a system to zone the positions. And the key players within the party stalled the zoning to the south, or micro-zoning to the southeast, as it were. Former governor of Benue State, Autumn, was the chairman of that committee. And the financier of the party, so to say, the current minister of FCT, was a contestant, an aspirant, who, according to the game, if you score with the hand in a football match and the referee doesn't blow against you, it's a goal. So they tried to, although it's not ideal, he tried his best to snatch, to win the ticket. But there were some master strategists who said, okay, if you want the zoning not to come to the southeast, because South had produced a president, and he's from South. So he devised his own political strategy to say, let it come to the south. If it didn't come to the south, let it be an open issue, open contest. So everybody had the right to contest. Even in those days, Rimi contested from the north, while Obasanjo and others were to contest from the southwest. So there is this kind of campaign against PDP, that PDP didn't zone. People are not talking about why was it made an open contest. It was the scheming of Wike and his G5 group. I won't say they were rebels, but well, they were a group of people who shared the same opinion. And Autumn was the chairman who said, let it be made open. So from that perspective, Wike said whoever won, he will support. There is the video, the clips are still there. And after losing, he didn't say if somebody now stepped down for the other, that he would not support. He said whoever won. Maybe if Tambuwa had stepped down for him, that would have been a satisfactory something for him. But that there was a game, and the master played the game, and within that party, all that could have been morally sound for any politician was to support your party. Because initially we had more than 18 political parties. You subscribed to PDP with all, so, and you should be within that confinement to make sure you actualize your political ambition. So if people were not satisfied, you had the right to decamp. You can stay out of politics. You can withdraw and join another party. But to stay within the party and say you are fighting somebody, it's like too myopic, politically myopic, to debase the patriotism in that particular person. Because me, I have tried to stay within PDP in spite of all pulling here and there. That look, even at home, people say, why don't you leave this party and go? I said, no, I am looking at Nigeria. Every storm will calm down after some time. This Nigeria that we are talking about, if we can reset and get Nigeria on the right path, Nigeria will be one of the world powers. But there are factors working against us. For example, some people who are, I'm sorry, some who are even older than me, more experienced, they don't even know what it means that patriotism is spiritual. Extremely. It's spiritual. Very spiritual. If you are committed to a thing, you don't do any harm to that system. So those people who are saying they want to destroy PDP so that APC could grow, they are destroying Nigeria, because as of today, PDP has channels in everywhere possible in this country.
Yeah, so I think that's the only political party aside the APC that has that.
So now, if we now talk about the mother or the parent of all the parties, is PDP. I think most of these people in APC now, they were in PDP. But I continue to challenge them. It's a moral problem. Sir, if you really want Nigeria to progress, stay where you are. Do your best there. Make sure things work there. So, but because of personal things, they put personal things far above the general good. So, those who were not satisfied that time ought to have gone to another party and then leave the party to be at peace. Now they are happy. PDP is in trouble. It's Nigeria that is in trouble, not PDP. Nigeria is in trouble. And like I said the other time, it's a conspiracy, no, disguised conspiracy, or maybe a kind of unconscious conspiracy against the people. Right now, everybody is planning how to win.
The next
and
election.
how to win that election is not about what good they have served to the people. So if I want to change to a party, I will see, this party is beautiful. In Ondo State, there was a time we were in AD. We joined PDP because
AD, from AD to PDP.
From PDP. Now we had a kind of blockade, like Adeleke is having in Osun.
In Osun State currently.
And our then governor, Mimiko, our candidate then, went out, and the wisdom was that let us pick another party and contest against Agagu in this state. Because we relied on the people. We contested. The election was rigged. And we went to court. There was no crisis except that we went to court, and God gave the Labour Party that victory. And today is the reference point in our democratic development. And that is what we believe should be done. After winning the election, we saw how to go back to PDP, because the proof is there. It's still there today as legal reference. So we did that, and that improved the political litigation, what they call jurisprudence or whatever. No, improved it. People learned about how you can retrieve your mandate, and we are glad. So we thought that that landmark should have been built upon to direct our energy. So the people, why was it possible in Ondo State? 90 days to election, somebody picked a new party
and was still able to garner that amount
because
of
it's about the people. Even the APC we are talking about, it's about if there is no hunger in town today, assuming there is no hunger, people will reason well. The question is, how many roads have we constructed? How many health centers have we built? How many, oh my God. If you get to some of the health facilities, I was somewhere yesterday, I lost someone yesterday, and it was very sad, because the health institution where we took her to was comatose. There was no action there, and doctors were scarce. No neurosurgeon, nothing. You can't.
Many has left the country.
So these are things. Before I can move to a political party, I will see their programs.
Programs, yeah.
What are they doing? Do they have passion for the people? Do they care for the people? If somebody came out with a caring heart policy, where old women, pregnant women, children, look at the mega schools constructed for the young ones. Look at how the state university became a world-class university during Mimiko's time. There was no crisis in that university for the number of years that he wrote. There was no crisis. And then, if you want me to, we are sorry that we missed the point by going back to moving out of that Labour Party. That Labour Party could have been built as
and bigger than
yes. But in essence, what I'm saying is that we should look at what that party, the ruling party, is offering to the people now as a kind of attraction that will make people go there. What people are being attracted by is that central power.
Central power.
Yes.
And not the...
You see, what makes some parties very strong is that when you have a person in position of power that knows how to use power, like our Papa President Tinubu now, and when Obasanjo was there, he was able to handle PDP. He will remove party chairman, he will do this, he will do that. We didn't say that was okay then. But what I'm saying is that why APC is getting a kind of artificial attraction, artificial absorption.
Why do you time it artificial?
It's not genuine. It's not genuine.
Why do you say so?
Because if you want to survive, okay, that is the system. Let us even shout their slogan so that we will be at peace with them, just for personal reason, personal interest. So you have to join to survive as a governor. If you want to draw enough funds from the largesse as allegedly been done, if you are antagonistic in bracket, if you are antagonistic to the center, then you won't be favored. You will not be favored. So what we are saying is that we have lost the perspective of looking at the whole thing, our democracy, our structure, our economy, our political structure. What are we doing? Is Nigeria really placed, when you do comparative analysis with Ghana, with some other nations of Africa, are we, with the resources we have, what is it that we are providing for the people? Let me say, if today, you know, I have said it here, that if today a bag of rice should go about twice the price that it was sold during Jonathan's era, I would have said yes, kudos to the present, because when rice was sold 8,000, 9,000, this current, the ruling party then, with due respect to some of my friends and leaders who are now in that party, we were jubilating that rice was 8,000, and then a set of people said it was even too exorbitant, too expensive, that when they come they will reduce it to the barest minimum, and that even when it was, the cost of fuel was around 197 naira, 97 naira, that they will come out to sell to us 40, 50 naira per liter. Then they went against removal of subsidy. Now the question is, what is attractive in 8,000 becoming 100,000? No, and the salary of workers have not increased along that.
With the inflation rate.
So what I am challenging politicians for is that we are not even encouraging our leaders. Once you tell them the truth, that look, you promised us this, what are you doing for the people? Then if they are doing better than the previous party, then you can now say yes. You don't even need to move away from your party. You have to give them the benefit of accolade. You can praise them.
From there, just do your appraisal.
Yes, because we should always say things according to what they are. Let no man call good evil, and let no man call evil good. Is that not what we politicians are doing?
Well, I think that is what we are doing. But before we get to going deeper into this conversation, it's high time we just take a very short break, and after that we're going to come back to this conversation. So this is what we'll be going for Gold Start, and yes, I know Gold Start is one of the programs you're very interested in. At least that few minutes you used to learn something new is going to inspire you to do something very important. Like we said, next year is going to be a very important year because we will be paying a lot of taxes. So please ensure you listen to Gold Start and learn how to diversify and do something to add to your streams of income. So please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back from that break. I hope you enjoyed Gold Start, and I hope you learned a thing or two. We're still on Daybreak Africa with Honorable Akindiose, and we're discussing about the defection of PDP party members to other parties.
While we were discussing, sir, I was trying to take a review of some of the statements you made, and I was trying to just place them side by side. Now, the first thing you talked about majorly was the place of those throwing pebbles within the river, which has to do with, from what you're saying, those working and doing anti-party activities within the party, and those from the ruling party, stirring up whatever they are doing. You also talked about the place of a lack of patriotism on the part of both party members that are defecting and the ruling party and other party members from the outside that are causing the stir. And you looked at the place of ideology, which I wanted to even ask majorly, because you talked about checking through the programs of multiple political parties and trying to see whether to join or not. We know something about the oldest democracy in the world, which is the United States of America. We know definitely if you are not a Democrat, you will be a Republican. We know that sometimes some Republicans can vote for a Democrat, some Democrats can vote for Republicans.
Sure.
But those parties run on ideologies.
Sure.
But you see, we all know the biggest parties in Nigeria is the PDP and the APC. ADC is trying to come up from the side. We don't know whether they are going to get somewhere far. LP, well, I don't know what's up with LP right now. But to a very large extent, the PDP and the APC. I think there's SDP too trying. But one of the things people have always talked about was the lack of ideologies, firm ideologies between the two political parties. Now, you've been a member of the PDP for some time. What would you say is the major ideology of the PDP? And why should members stick to the ideologies?
Well, you see, the PDP, People's Democratic Party, the core of the ideology is power derived from the people. And that power should be for the benefit of the people. So in the economy and all other allied political activities, they must be people-centered. Therefore, poverty must be seriously attended to. It must be fought to the extent that we can say we want to exterminate poverty. Along that line, in that regard, you will find the party bringing in people who can design activities that will make the farmer farm productively and profitably, will make our industries grow, will make things work well. Our institutions will now be people focused. What can they give to the people to make life more livable? So the major problem is that most of us who are politicians are not supposed to be politicians, because do people really know what it means to be in politics? Politics is about service, selfless service, and you can now see the difference or differences between those who, because they do not have any job to do, the only job available is politics.
So politics,
some of us were
survival.
teachers. We just saw that, look, let us, since we could not combine our profession with politics, let us come into this politics using our experiences and all those things we have garnered all over the years and our determination to improve the society. Not about how to make money, not about how to commit fraud. So the fluidity in ideology is a kind of feedback or a kind of repercussion for joblessness. In the days when industries were working, where we had the Keja Industrial Estate working, where we had the Oluyole Industrial Estate active, where we had Odua conglomerate working, where we had the Arewa, maybe the Kaduna textile mills and all those things, where we had the Okomo and Okomo oil, palm oil and all those things, where you had the Cocoa Research Institute and cocoa farm plantation, all those things, when the agric was going on, where people were engaged, there were farmers in those estates, in the farm estates established by the regional government. There were workers in the industry where they were even having shifting system. They were going, some will come in the morning, go in the evening, another set will come in the evening, and early morning they will go back home. So those things were the things that made the society. But now, because we have nothing in that regard, we don't have something similar to that again. All these industries, Berek, all those things, Volkswagen, Peugeot, they are all dead. So the people that should have been absorbed, employed by these industries, where you should have expansion like we have in China and all those things, we are not having them. But we have the resources. The leadership is not there. So most of those who are supposed to be in the offices or in the production line, working without paying attention to any, they are now the ready-made materials for political thuggery, for political brigandage, for all those kind of things. So we have more politicians than the voters now. So whereas it should be the reverse.
More voters.
Yes, the people who are not into politics are just there to decide which party has said, has done what it promised, and which party is offering better options. The people, they are supposed to decide that by their votes. But the system has been corrupted to the extent that 2 can become 200 when it comes to votes. 12 can become 120 when it comes to vote counting. And the effort to make these things stable, that we should use this voter capture, what do they call it, this machine, that we should introduce electronic system into the voting system, so that people will know exact votes they cast. Were counted. But it is just a kind of, that was why I said some people who think they are gaining power, they are in power now by fraud. They are not doing anything to project development in Nigeria. That's why nothing is happening. Until we change the orientation that politics is about service. And when you want to serve, you must have something right here. Your education will equip you. Your determination to serve your community will not be about how to make money and share rice so that people can be under you, how to say you have done constituency project, whereas it is government money, and you now appropriate it, you say you are the one doing it. It is not. Even as in this civilian era, in this civil rule, we can say most of the things on ground were done by some military men.
Yeah.
So yes, they did it because their institution had a kind of discipline. So, but right now, the discipline within the political system in Nigeria is a kind of conditional discipline. That's why somebody will say, if you committed a sin, if you join us,
your sins are forgiven.
Your sins are forgiven. So somebody who had EFCC petitions will now take prominent position in Nigeria and will expect things to improve. It cannot improve.
Because
ordinarily, if you have a case like that, INEC and all those institutions of quality control, political quality control, should be up and doing to say, look, until you clear yourself, you cannot serve Nigeria. That is the taproot of patriotism. When all the institutions are performing in the interest of Nigeria, not that somebody will be a governor or a well-placed politician and will be using his own position to undermine the unity of the country. Some are doing it deliberately. Some are doing it, some are just doing it without knowing they are doing it.
Unconsciously.
So, yes, I mean, you see, some are doing it deliberately. When you seek position and you have the objective in your mind that when you get to this position, you will project your religion, you will project your religion, you want to take people's land, you want to do all those things, you connive with external forces to undermine Nigeria. That's not patriotism now. And our system, until our institutions become very effective to say, look, you can't do this. Quiet organizations to sustain the unity of the country. If they are at work, and if I had committed any fraud, and the security system now flags me that I had committed so, I should be called upon to explain myself instead of me being supported to go ahead for that position. What will I do with it? So the Nigerian situation is not really about all this political system I have, but about those who are playing that negative things, and they are now coming out to say they are doing positive things. No, you cannot. You cannot be stealing the oil. Cannot be stealing the oil. And the wealth of the nation, the gold in Zamfara, and the gold in Ilesha, the gold across the nation, the wealth in Benue Trop and all those things, in the Niger Delta, the crisis there, degradation of the environment, cleaning of Ogoniland is still a kind of thing that we are yet to see. And people are stealing our oil, and our security system just telling us, even the media has become so mute
about issues
like this. We don't have the vibrancy we used to have when there was a kind of struggle to drive away the military. We told them that the Delegiwas, the Onanugas, and so on, who were fighting using either the news or tell and so on, they would have done a job to unveil all those who are sponsoring banditry and all those things in Nigeria. Let there be peace for everybody. Without peace, okay, imagine you are a foreigner, you want to come and invest in Nigeria, and you heard about the kidnapping and all those things happening here. Will you take the risk of your money? Unless your money is, unless your resources is taken from a kind of questionable source. And now you want to say, let me just drop it in this turbulent environment. So we need to change. And look at what you see. A nation cannot be greater than
the kind of people.
The teachers handling us, handling the because our schools are supposed to transfer the culture, desirable thing. We should be looking ahead. Where do we want Nigeria to be placed in 10 years, in 20 years, in 50 years? All nations are developing along that. But today there are schools without roof. And we want to compete with other nations.
And all that.
There are states where a particular governor that I don't want to mention here for political reasons, but people know, went to schools, built schools, equipped schools with computer, bought buses for schools, gave them money, seed money to run, and within a few years, that school became number one. I mean, that state scoring number one in this, mathematics number one in any contest. That is the kind of thing we want for. That's the model we want for Nigeria. Look at what Awolowo did in the Western region. Western region became the envy of other regions. But today, what is it that our politicians are putting before the people?
Talking about politicians in the actual sense, I was about progressing on the question because because the major problem now has to do with the politicians majorly, which many of them are trying to gain power and all that. That is why sometimes we think the viable thing in democracy is when there is competition. And talking about competition, oppositions too are needed. And I was looking at one of the issues with the People's Democratic Party, and I discovered that recently the faction of Turaki went to see Olusegun Obasanjo because I saw that their faction handed over certificate of expulsion to Wike and his camp. Wike and his camp did the same back to them as well. Now, we've seen elders in the People's Democratic Party. We know Baba Obasanjo is an elder, even though currently he has an issue with Ayo Fayose of Ekiti. We've seen multiples. Bukola Saraki is still a PDP member, even though currently we don't even know where he is as we speak. We don't know why. Many of them who had been top guns in the People's Democratic, why not them call a truce? Call the two sides over. Make them sit on a table. Settle issues well settled and let them progress. Why is it that they are not really coming to the forefront to fight for the unity of the party at this particular time?
Well, if there is a Nigerian that we always respect, somebody who believes in Nigeria, that is Baba Obasanjo. Anybody, there's nobody in this our era that can say Obasanjo is not a patriotic Nigerian. When he ruled this country, he didn't play the Yoruba, the ethnic thing. Even the Yorubas were against him. That he didn't Yorubanize his regime. But he united Nigeria in such a way that even when you talk about some institutions now, the INEC, he reformed, the local government reforms started much more with him. I mean, he did a lot about that, even as a military man. Then you come to what we call EFCC today, ICPC. He instituted that in the interest of the nation. And when you look at his cabinet, it was all encompassing, inclusive cabinet with best brains to move Nigeria forward. He paid the debts of this country, the debts that had been piling up for years. He paid. Nobody believed that the debt could be paid. But he had this commitment. He is so committed. So when he called all these people together, you know that even in the past, he used to write to presidents. That is what we call, there's a kind of third party, a kind of detached opposition, looking at it from all views and then putting a position on the table for the man at the center to see what to do and what has not been done. So Obasanjo has been doing that, and for us, for people like me, I will always respect him. Anybody that disregards him is not doing Nigeria any good. That man has committed his life to making Nigeria a united country. Yes, there are opinions about why don't we go? Why don't we allow Biafra to go? Why don't we allow Oduduwa to be? Why don't... These are the ripples of lack of patriotism, ripples of making the opposition to look bad through, I mean, deliberate destabilization. When some people now don't find anything that the party, PDP, we cannot even, let us even go. That is the common thing outside there. We live within the people. We know Nigeria, Nigeria, demonic alternative. But why? Because the government is not doing the right thing. Those who are the key players, they are not even showing that they are committed Nigerians. If a minister, a former minister, even a professor with many awards, accolades and so on, international recognitions, should betray his country, the honor should be taken away from him, so that our children will know that even if you climb to the roof, the climax of academic climax, and you commit an error about your country to put your country in a bad light, then you'll be brought down because you don't deserve it any longer. So these are the things that myself as a politician, I would like to see in my lifetime, to see that yes, If we can organize Nigeria, Nigeria can be. Let us look at the principle we studied in economics, division of labor. What are you best at producing? Producing as Benue man, continue your yam, and let us look at how we can turn this yam into yam flour to make it marketable all over the world. If you are giving us enough food, then let us give our best to you in those states and this western part. Our cocoa, we give you chocolate, we give you all those things, and all those things that God has planted in our soil where we live. Let us use them for the benefit of the people. Many Nigerians have died, hoping that one day in those states, the second largest bitumen will be exploited and used for the benefit of the people. Then, but it is still sitting down there. People are playing politics that hasn't got any advantage, because people, the generation are going. So we need a kind of politics that will get us development. And if we have to get development, our politicians must know that development, patriotism, peace, stability. And stability has no it has no kind of spectrum or kind of thing. It's not like rainbow where you have green. Stability must be straightforward. If you are a committed Democrat, stabilize the polity. Let there be voice of opposition. Let them be heard. In the National Assembly, you find people jumping from their parties to the other party
without consequences.
No, ordinarily, if you are hungry and they are sharing akara there, and you don't have garri at home, and you see another person having garri, and they are working together, the next thing is that if you cannot submerge your esoic tendency, you join them. Then you give your birthright to the man who wanted it. So our politics is so debased that this kind of moving from right to the left, they are artificial. Because we have, yes, the symbol of the parties also mean a lot. We have an umbrella. Some people, they so to say progressive, say, the umbrella is torn. But you find people who are so artistic, who are given that artisanship to mend umbrellas. When they are torn, you can replace. And now look at the broom. The broom is powerful to the extent that it's a bunch, as long as there is a band around it. And at the top of the broom, the tip of the broom, when you look at it with deep reflection, you will see that they are not together. The broom, the bottom, when you tie it, you find it firm there.
Firm and rooted.
Yes, but up there, you see
they are not together.
They are not. So the grace of the APC is that they have a very strong man, whipping them to line. The moment that band is not there, what do you have? People will scatter. So but we don't want it to scatter. We would rather put a strong something to make it to be stronger than to scatter it, because Nigeria is our own and we will not allow Nigeria to go down. So if the broom allows the umbrella to perform its own role when there is sun, when there is rain, the broom can also be held under the umbrella. But it is not possible for the broom to sweep the top of the umbrella unless there are cobwebs, and that is what EFCC stands for. You use the broom as cleaner of the cobwebs, and then you can fold the umbrella
at the end of the day,
put it there, allow the broom to sweep the room. Then when you are going out, there is sunshine,
take the
or rain,
you
use the umbrella. So the two must be work together.
So that means.
So you are either in power. The umbrella was in power.
They've done their part.
Yes. Now the broom is saying that we want to sweep the dirty things, but unfortunately, as they sweep, they are also using their boots to bring in dirt. So it is not good for the environment unless we cooperate. You understand?
That the umbrella cooperates.
The umbrella and the broom must cooperate. We must play our roles different. But the moment the broom says, umbrella, you will not cover us when it is sun. You will not cover us when it is rain. When rain beats the broom, it will be breaking at the top until it becomes a kind of stunted broom. So that is the way I see it from my own insights.
I like your analogy in the actual sense. The analogy is a very beautiful analogy.
We must work together.
We work together in the actual sense.
The time to use the broom, use it.
The
time for the umbrella,
use it. Yes, sir, but okay.
We wanted to ask a question, but even if you are going to ask a question, it must be 1 minute because our time is fast spent.
Yes. It's what do you think would be the possible solution to make PDP members remain in the party and for the party not to?
Yes, PDP is like the tree brought to this country by some politicians. We call it melina. Melina. No, it's a softwood, but it grows, or like the teak. When you extract the main stem, it will still shoot. PDP is unkillable. Rather, it will kill those who want to kill it. It will outlive all those. We had so many chairmen, national leaders in the past who are not even remembered now. But as a strong party, Obasanjo, Yaradua, and Jonathan, Jonathan has a kind of record that is quite distinct
from the others.
From the others. PDP provided a man like that. Like Obasanjo, PDP provided a man. But now, your question is, how can we? It is when people are determined to be patriotic and have hope in God. Wherever you are, God will make you whatever you want to be. If you really do His will. If you do the will of God, whether you are a Gentile, whether you are a Jew, you will have the promise of God fulfilled in your life. It is not about changing colors like a chameleon. No, the chameleon cannot become an elephant.
Definitely.
How many colors it changes. So it does not, and the chameleon is not reliable because you find brown here, it becomes brown. Yellow here, it becomes yellow. So what is the essence of politics? Be patriotic to your nation. Do your best for your people. Let nothing destabilize you. I am not destabilized by the crisis because the storm must come to an end.
Definitely.
Surely, some of us who are still in PDP, we are not ready to go. And we have seen a kind of thing through the crisis, because from that we have seen a kind of, we have learned a kind of lesson. We know those who cannot be president in Nigeria, except they change like Saul, who became Paul. Yes. Because you can, some characters are not even supposed to be morally given the form to fill, to say they want to be president of Nigeria. If you talk too much, if you dance too much, if you do all things in excess, how can you bring a country with nations within it? How can you bring them together?
15 seconds, sir.
So, I'm okay with you. Let us pray for Nigeria. And let us see that our politicians, God will touch their hearts and will sift the chaff from the grain. In the next election, I am going to say some NGOs should come out to educate the masses, that the masses should be the decider. They should decide who to rule them.
They should decide who to rule them. And like you said, I think I like the analogy of the PDP's reunion, that at the end of the day, it depends on the realization of the politicians.
Yes, when it was raining, Obasanjo came out with the umbrella and saved us from our debts.
So, well, it's well. I just hope that at least 2026 is going to be very exciting. Maybe the PDP will be united again, and we have viable oppositions against the ruling party. And even if the ruling party wins at the end of the day, we know that definitely oppositions are alive again. It makes democracy very interesting. I want drama.
They have to do. They have to do more to win. If today we can see convincing projects, convincing programs, there's nothing. You stay in your party and you support a candidate that can perform.
Well, thanks so much, sir, for being a part of this discussion. We really appreciate you. We appreciate everything you've given to us, and we appreciate your words of patriotism to many Nigerians and many politicians out there, which we really need at this particular time. No matter your political party, no matter whatever you do, patriotism must come first. Nigeria comes first, and then you must be respectable to your political party with the ideology that they have at this particular time. Well, we can't take more than this today for our discussion, but it's time to take sport. Immediately after sport, we come back on Daybreak Africa. And yes, we'll say our goodbye. So please stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the show. If just joined us, it's still Daybreak Africa. I hope you enjoyed sport, but now it's time to say our goodbyes. I think I enjoyed the discussion with Honorable Akindiose.
I did also. He said a lot of things, and I learned that patriotism from him. I think it's good for us to be very patriotic, just as he said, because most people are not patriotic. I think they just go there for their that's a selfish interest, for their own personal.
I think selfish is the right word. Selfish interest. Like they say in politics, interest is constant. And one of the things about it is because I don't know why you be in a political party, you are not trying to further their ideologies. Rather, you are trying to just sabotage whatever they are doing, all because of you are pained by something they did to you years ago and all that, which is not supposed to be. And I don't also know why elders in that party can't sit down and call every fact out to order. I think that's why we have elders.
Yes, that's why we do.
We fight. Elders come to just settle it. Husband and wife fight. Everybody fights.
Everybody fights. Even friends fight.
Fight.
And just as he said, elders will settle it. So.
Elders settle it. But the elders, we'll see what happens in the actual sense, because I know I need competition in 2026 and 2027.
Competition in 2026.
Because I know I'll be going to some of these elections. Osun, Ekiti, and the likes, as well as the presidential elections coming up in 2027. So please, we need the opposition back on track. But then we'll be looking at this holistically as time goes by. We'll keep bringing in more updates on Daybreak Africa. But tomorrow will be another day on Daybreak Africa. And yes, my name will still remain here, Joshua Hadizatu.
And I am Hadizatu Ibrahim.
Bye, guys. Bye.